I know, but... Yep, absolutely, but... I couldn't do a Christmas episode this year. Why?
Don't worry. I'm gonna make it.
What do you mean you're thinking about quitting? No, we could just... No, I'll explain everything in the next episode. Hello? Hello? You there? Hey guys, welcome to the show. It's a new year and I'm feeling very kung fu today. And as exciting as that may sound, before we begin, how about a moment of madness to set the tone for this video? Ready? Awesome. So, in this video, I'll begin by asking the question, of all the wonder in the magical movie kingdom, what the hell is The Last Dragon?
Who the hell is this guy? We didn't order out.
Well, it's a martial arts style action comedy that came out in 1985 and is set in Harlem, New York. It's about a guy called Leroy Green who idolises Bruce Lee and is told by his master to go on a mission to find this person called Sum Dun Goy who is said to be the wisest man in the universe.
Go, find him. He is here in New York.
What? The wisest man in the universe? The guy that Leroy needs to find? Just so happens to live in the same city? Well, that was lucky.
Take this. It was Bruce Lee's.
Well, there you go. Not only does Leroy not have far to go, but he's also been given this medallion that just happened to belong to his hero, Bruce Lee.
Lucky.
So Bruce Lee's medallion in hand, Leroy sets off to find this wise man that's going to help him reach what they call the final level and achieve the glow. What's the glow, I hear you ask?
Someone who has reached the final level and could make his whole body glow. The beauty he would be able to create would be without bounds.
No further explanation needed there, I think, so we'll move on. The first thing to get out the way is to say that this movie is really just a love letter to Bruce Lee, and if you're a Bruce Lee fan, chances are you're going to have a good time here. And it's not as if they're trying to hide or be subtle with the Bruce Lee love that's going on either. I mean, in the first 10 minutes, we're actually in the cinema watching the famous Bruce Lee movie Enter the Dragon. It's a great flick. You see that movie? It's the king of all fighting movies, in my little opinion at least. Anyway, I love that this character's basically just trying to be Bruce Lee. From the sounds that he makes when he's fighting to the way he speaks. It's an enjoyable situation.
Sometimes it is hard to live the way of the wise.
You can call it the art of fighting without fighting.
Huh?
Our hero, Leroy, is played by a guy called Timac. Yep, no surnames needed here, just one name.
What name? Who are you, Seal?
He's not brilliant, I have to say. I mean, I like him in this movie, but a Meryl Streep, he is not.
You're not my mother. I said move!
Anyway, this was Timac's first major movie role, and let's face it, he was a martial arts expert first and foremost, and an actor second. I think he was in his early 20s here as well, so being the lead actor in this movie would have been a lot of pressure on his young, inexperienced shoulders, so I'm not going to be too harsh on his performance, but strangely enough, Timac's lack of acting experience actually kinda works here because Leroy's supposed to be a bit awkward in social situations, being that he really just wants to be Bruce Lee in Harlem. Look at him go there, eating his popcorn with chopsticks. Tell you what though, choice of eating utensils and acting skills aside, he can pull off an impressive kick or two. Love that wee kick. Every action-packed kung fu movie needs a good bad guy, and The Last Dragon does not disappoint in this category.
Am I the meanest? Am I the prettiest? Am I the baddest mofo low down around this town?
Well, I can agree with most of what was said there, but I'm more concerned about that outfit. Anyway, led by his gang who love to shout his name.
Sho'nuff!
This is the legend that is Sho'nuff.
Shogun of Harlem.
Sho'nuff is easily the best thing about the whole movie.
Did you say that?
I still don't get what he's all about though, these wee shoulder pads. Like, he goes around as the leader of this gang and wants to be the Shogun of Harlem? What the hell does that mean? I could understand if he was a crime boss or something and he had plans on making money somehow, but he doesn't actually do anything like that in this movie. He just goes around demanding that Leroy fights him, or he's acting like a big bad bully. Like in this scene here where he bursts into the cinema where good people like this guy are trying to watch Enter the Dragon and he causes a fight to break out. He wrecks Leroy's family pizza joint.
Oh my God,
my table, what are you doing?
And overall, his main goal is just to fight whoever the best fighter in the neighbourhood is, so he can be declared the master of something.
I am the Shogun of Harlem.
Sho'nuff is played by Julius Carey, and I read online that he had never had martial arts training prior to this movie, and while his action sequences aren't anything to write home about, his lack of experience is never even noticeable, never mind distracting, and he's definitely entertaining in a cheesy, ridiculous way. And some of his one-liners are memorable as hell.
Get it, girls. Maybe you can get a rise out of this limp wimp. Maybe you can get a rise out of this limp wimp.
He just called him a limp wimp. Any other golden one-liners you'd like to share with us, Mr. Nuff?
Kiss my converse.
Glorious. And I think that's what makes this movie entertaining, because it's just batshit crazy overall. Like, at times they're taking this so serious, but the movie then takes the time to be self-aware enough to pull gags like this when Leroy, expecting a mystical answer, asks his master if he's going on a quest for knowledge.
No, I'm going to visit my mother in Miami.
It knows it's silly, which then makes it even funnier when you've got Sho'nuff giving it everything he's got. The Shogun of Harlem. The whole movie's just ludicrous, but Sho'nuff is the icing on the cake for me.
Who's the master?
But he's not alone in this tale of kidnapping kung fu. This movie's got two bad guys. This is Eddie Arcadian.
Nobody turns down an Eddie Arcadian invitation.
Eddie's a small-time crook that plans on getting his girlfriend's music video onto a popular TV show, and this ends up entangled with Leroy's quest when Eddie kidnaps the host of the show, Laura Charles, played here by Vanity.
You can call me Laura.
Trying our best not to fall under the hypnotic gaze that comes of Vanity's eyes.
That is the whitest white part of the eye I've ever seen.
Let's move on.
You thirsty?
I like Vanity in this movie. She plays the part of this damsel in distress, but with some confidence thrown into the character's blend as well. It's a good mix.
Wow.
Her performance suits the comic book feel of the movie. Like, take that scene here for example.
You were really something, boy. I just don't know how to thank you.
Whether it's the dialogue or the acting, the cheesiness just makes you think that this could be of comic book descent.
You getting in or what?
And I think that works because what we have here is actually a serious situation of a woman being abducted by a bunch of goons, but when she's rescued, our hero's this guy that's came right out of a comic book.
I would not do that if I were you.
You come right out of a comic book.
That takes us nicely into the action scenes that we get in The Last Dragon, and they're okay. I don't mean the scenes are shit or anything like that, but I kind of feel that the cast had the ability to do more in the fight sequences, but maybe the scenes weren't choreographed in the best way, maybe, I don't know. They're not blow your mind stuff, but there are a few noteworthy moments that we'll touch on later.
Your mother.
A classic insult right there.
Your mother.
Leroy, roundhouse. Damn it, Mr. Editor, I know that I'm quite hard to understand sometimes, but I said roundhouse, not roadhouse. Roadhouse is a good movie though, so check it out. Some good Swayze. Another thing to take for this movie is the soundtrack. It really is outstanding. We even get a wee appearance for El DeBarge and his almighty moustache. Fucking movie actually goes full in at the video of the song for a bit. It just becomes a shameless promotion. The 80s were an amazing time. Look at that outfit. Speaking of outfits, Leroy's got a brother called Richie, and Richie has the most outrageous fashion sense in this movie. Richie also has a friend that was in the airplane too.
Ah, shit.
And his outfits in this movie are almost as impressive as Richie's.
Ah, shit. Ah, shit. Ah, shit.
What's with you, kid? You think you can say oh shit in any movie you're in?
What's with you, kid?
The get-ups in this movie really are of the highest quality too, but the funny thing is just how this collection of madness is presented to us. Like I mentioned earlier, it's like half the cast are playing it dead serious, but others know it's just silly nonsense, and this is all wrapped up in this 80s almost superhero-esque comic book cheese fest. We added Helton's a over-the-top bad guy and musical cues as well. Right, so with all the aforementioned on the table, what else do I really need to tell you about this movie that just might persuade you to seek it out and give it a chance? Remember back in episode 23 when we talked about the noises that martial arts fighters make mid-combat? The ki? Well, one of Sho'nuff's henchmen, this guy called Beast, has a great ki. Listen to this.
Beast, kill him!
How awesome is that? It's like he sings it. This is Johnny, by the way, and his battle cry ain't too bad either. And amongst everything else that's gone on in this movie, I forgot to mention earlier that Leroy also runs some sort of martial arts dojo, and one of his pupils is this guy, Johnny. Johnny's power definitely comes from the thickness of those eyebrows. I mean, look at those bad boys, they're almighty. I think if Johnny's eyebrows get into a fight with Eugene Levy's eyebrows and... Wow, sorry Johnny. How about we move on from your eyebrows and you give us your Bruce Lee impression instead?
Check this out.
It's not bad, but I discovered that if you play that clip backwards, it sounds like this. Awesome. Anyway, what other madness we got here? Okay, so when Vanity's captured yet again, what's the deal with the sound that she makes when she gets grabbed? Why does this wee guy make such a weird sound when he's about to unlock Johnny for that locker?
The keyword.
Say that again.
The keyword.
This little dude is actually Ernie Reyes Jr., who was also in Red Sonja and grew up to be Kino in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 movie that came out in 1991.
It's me, Kino!
And I'll tell you what, he puts in a good show here. I was particularly impressed by this wee double kick. Well played, wee man. So let's wrap this bad boy up. The Last Dragon is not a bad movie. It's outrageous, but not a bad movie. I first encountered this quote-unquote masterpiece when I was really young, and being the fan of Bruce Lee that I was and still am, I loved this movie, and still do. Whether you're looking for a story where you can get behind the good guy and hope that all turns out well in the end, or you're looking for something wacky where the bad guy turns out to be your favourite character, check out The Last Dragon. Who knows, you just might achieve the glow.
What?
Anyway, as always, thanks for watching guys. Take care, and remember...
As this way.